Crime Fest is upon us. We are about to enter into the biggest heisting spree Payday has ever seen. So before we are too deep in bullets and helmets, why don't we take a look at the top 5 weapons we want to bring into battle. The Rattlesnake sniper rifle is one of the most diverse weapons in the game. It excels on normal to overkill difficulties, outperforming all other snipers and assault rifles thanks to an immensely efficient ammo capacity helped by the sniper's bullet penetration and a great ability to take out specials. This weapon does fall down, however, on a lot of wasted attachments used for concealment. Snipers really aren't the excellent stealth tools that Overkill maybe thought they would be, but overall, even though it falls down on its Death Wish viability, this weapon is one of the most effective in the game. In at the number 4 slot, we have the Car 4 assault rifle, and where this weapon really stands out above the crowd is its immense versatility. It's one of the best stealth primaries in the game, carrying over 30 concealment, and if things go south and you end up loud, it can still hold its own. But if you want to use it exclusively for loud missions, it's still strong, carrying a reasonable damage alongside some of the best attachments in the game. It can get over 60 bullets per clip, it has very reasonable ammo capacity, and its accuracy and stability really doesn't suffer for these excellent stats. All in all, your workhorse of the assault rifle class, and of course, it does fall off in Death Wish, but not quite as much as a lot of the other assault rifles. My number 3 choice is the Thanatos 50 cal, and you guys know why it's there. It is the renowned Death Wish weapon, possibly the best specialized weapon for the hardest difficulty in Payday. Why is it so good, you ask? Well, its ridiculously high damage number, coupled with the fact that Death Wish is filled with bulldozers, cloakers, shields and tasers, make this weapon so damn necessary for Death Wish, as it can take out bulldozers in 2 shots. But why is it not the best weapon then? Well, Death Wish isn't the game, and on top of that, on the easier difficulties and against regular enemies, it has an awful lot of wasted damage. And of course, this weapon has to have big drawbacks thanks to that damage, and those come in the way of low ammo capacity, a very low fire rate, and surprisingly low stability for a sniper rifle. Overall, I actually think this weapon is quite overrated, but cannot deny its damn usefulness in Death Wish. The number 2 slot, and this was a very difficult decision for me, belongs to the GL40, and this is in fact the number 1 primary weapon in Payday 2 in my opinion, giving away that the number 1 is a secondary. Why does the GL40 deserve its slot above favourites like the Thanatos and the Car 4? Well, there's a few reasons, but first of all, it is very good on every difficulty. Admittedly, on the very lowest, its damage is a little overkill, but thanks to it having splash damage, it's still ammo friendly. But on higher difficulties like Death Wish, it is the perfect tool for taking out just about every enemy type. Only cloakers really pose a huge threat. It can take out tasers thanks to its large stun radius, it can take out shields instantaneously, and even bulldozers, the scourge of Death Wish. All you have to do is hit their faceplate with this thing, quickly swap out to your secondary, and that is one dead bulldozer. It does fall down on its low reload time and of course slow fire rate thanks to that, but thanks to its large blast radius, huge amounts of damage, it really does keep up. The only reason why I didn't feel like I could put this weapon at number 1 is, in order for it to do what it does, it really needs a secondary. Its overall ammo capacity isn't that high, and it does pick up a reasonable amount of ammo if you have the right skills, But because you have to swap out to a secondary to take out bulldozers and often cannot sustain using this weapon in tight areas, seeing as how there's splash damage to worry about, I do not feel I can give it the number 1 slot, but do feel it's hugely versatile and has so many applications that you cannot deny its usefulness on every difficulty. And for the number 1 slot, a lot of you who watch me on Twitch will recognize that my favorite weapon, and I believe the best weapon in the game, is the Locomotive 12G. The Street Sweeper is also very good and has a very similar style, but I've just found more success with the Locomotive. It might just be the shape of that thing. Why is the Locomotive so good, and why is a secondary the best weapon in the game? Well, there are a few reasons for that. First of all, as a secondary, it lets you carry some of those peculiar Death Wish primaries like the GL40 and like the Thanatos. Also, it has some of the best ammo capacity, magazine size, rate of fire for a shotgun, damage, and essentially the other skills don't even matter. And then coupled with my favorite skill in the game, Overkill, at the top of the Enforcer tree, this thing makes Death Wish trivial. You get 1 kill with it and you will be on a roll for the next 30 seconds. Its damage is unstoppable, and if you're using the right skills with it, can tear straight through an assault wave. And even if you don't like running it that way, it can work as a stealth weapon. With the right concealment setup, you can get a very low concealment and carry a shotgun into battle. And with the stealth silent shotgun, you can launch enemy bodies into different corners in order to work as a sort of instant body bag, hiding them from the view of cameras and other patrolling guards. If you need anything more, just watch some of my previous Death Wish videos and streams with this weapon. The Locomotive 12G is king, and I will support it till the end. Finally, if you want to run some special ammo with this thing, you can use explosive rounds. All of the great things I talked about with the GL40, the Locomotive can essentially do. If you want to focus on a primary weapon instead of your secondary, you can run frag rounds on this thing, taking out bulldozers very easily and taking out shields in a pinch. An excellent weapon, and I don't think you will find a better one in the game, at least until the upcoming updates. Hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.